All right, guys, here's the best wheel trade I've ever made in my entire life. And the reason it was the best trade I've ever made is because it had a little bit of everything. Everything we ever talk about in the wheel and covered calls, the highs, the lows, the skills necessary to succeed when things start to go bad. Everything has happened in this one wheel trade that's been going on actually now for a couple months. And I broke it down. I made a separate sheet with all the details, every single trade, every single roll, all the premium I collected, everything, because really this is going to be one of the most valuable informational videos that I've made in a really, really long time if you are trading the wheel and especially trading covered calls in this market that's just been going up and up and up. So sorry if I'm going to be looking over here, guys. I am going to be reading a lot off my screen that you also will be looking at. So sorry for the lack of eye contact. I hate when people do that. Guys, this all started May 1st, 2023. I decided that I was going to trade the wheel. So I bought 194 shares of Apple, which got my cost basis to $196.50. You can see all these screenshots that I'm going to be taking from my brokerage. And I began writing calls immediately after that on May 5th. Now, during that time, over the next 2 months, as we can see from May, the share price of Apple, it went a little up, a little down, a little up, a little down, a nice little staircase all the way up, which frankly is like the perfect, most ideal situation for trading the wheels. When things don't happen too quick and just get smacked all over the place, you can make your call, you can put it out of the money, nice 0.2 delta, whatever you want to be conservative, and then the share price maybe will go up. Like I said, this from May all the way up to June, July was the most easy wheel I've ever traded. Then right at the peak, it started to dip and it freaking fell like a rock. And I remember when I closed this call and I was like, now the wheel, as we can see, is even going to get easier when the markets are going down and the share price never even comes close to the money when you're selling covered calls. And the only downside about it coming down all the way is you have to be prepared of your cost basis. We preach all the time that you must be writing calls above your cost basis. And as long as you do so, you can never ever lose. And we can see my cost basis still 169.50. So as this thing started to go down, as long as I wrote my share price above 169.50, I was going to be good. And on October 27th, I write until October 27th, the share price dropped to 169.22, and I was able to make a call that was still going to be above my basis, but right there. And this is where everything turned and we started making videos about Apple and everything. Here's exactly what happened. And here's the trade that I took on that October 27th. And I want you to keep in mind, look right here. That is exactly the bottom, all right? And after that, it rips. So pretty much this is a screenshot and then I'll kind of write it out, talk it out. I don't want to miss anything. If you are in my Discord, guys, and you want a copy of this Word document so you can go through it with a little bit better fine-tooth comb, just let me know in the Discord or maybe I'll just link it in there automatically. On October 27th, I wrote a covered call with a strike of 175 above my base of 169.50. For an expiration of 11/2. All right, this is when I was writing expirations for 1 week. I have changed that philosophy. It was actually the last video I posted. So if you just scroll down on my channel, my last video talks about how I've made some changes in the wheel. The share price was currently 168.22. So I was still out of the money with that 176 call. Like I said, right there around that 0.4 to 0.2 delta that I like. I collected $125 in premium. That was awesome. I did not know that this was the bottom. Things were going to take off. Here is where skills and knowledge, not a flex, okay? This is informational. Here's where my skills and the skills you should have and my knowledge of the wheel strategy and how you can get out of a position if things start to go wrong. You must know how to get out of a position when things start to go wrong, or frankly, you should not be trading the wheel strategy at all. And if you are new to the wheel strategy, guys, I have mini courses. I have everything on here for free. But if you want it all in your hands, guys, I'll leave a link down in the description. I have a full guide and journal that I sell on Amazon pretty much for at cost. So you can have everything in your hand. Very, very beginner. So only if you're really starting to learn this, if you have a pretty good idea of the wheel, this might be a little bit basic for you. I'm not going to lie. But if you want it, it's pretty affordable. You can check the reviews. I'll leave a link for this full guide and journal down. This a little like plug for my own book. I just realized I had a typo. That expiration was actually on the 3rd. Okay, so now we're on the 3rd. and the expiration date on the 3rd was 176. My call is now in the money, and I would lose my shares if this expired in the money. I do not want that. I do not want to lose my shares. I do not like them. I do not like green eggs and ham. I will not eat them in a box. I will not eat. Yes, I have a 4-year-old, guys. Sorry. I was going to lose my shares. I don't want to. So I rolled up and out. If you're in my Discord, you're going to hear me talk about up and out. Up being the strike price, out being the expiration. Ideally, that's what you want to do. Sometimes you can only roll out, that's okay. But up and out is very, very good to do. And to roll this, I've made videos on how to do the roll. You need to close an option and then reopen another option. So I bought to close the original call for $68. That's the buy down here that you're going to see. All right. I then open another call right here for 177.50. So I went up $2.50. That's great. $250 in capital gains upon assignment. And I was able to get another credit of $42 because I bought for 68 and then I sold for 110. That got me 42. All right. And it also pushed the expiration once again out 1 week till the 10th. This brought the total profit from my original call of 125 for the first one. Now the roll got me another 42. I am up to 167 over the course of about 2 weeks. But Apple kept ripping and it just kept on going. So I had to make yet another roll. And I know people are going to say, oh, that's a problem with the wheel. Like you could just roll, 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 roll. Yes. Is there a chance you're going to roll forever? I guess. But the way I see it, nothing goes up forever. There is going to be a pullback eventually. And I don't plan on selling the shares anyway. So if I have to roll forever, who the hell cares? Now this time I didn't even make it to expiration. All right. The expiration on that was 11:10. But the share price ripped. This was like right here, I think was around the 7th. And it got up to 181. So already in the money. 3 days till expiration, I had to roll up and out again. I bought to close for 409. You can see that fill right here, 409. I sold to open at 180. So I went up again $2.50 for a call for 612. All right, and you're like, I don't have all this money to be buying, closing. Like I said, I still collected a credit. This got me $203 in premium. But to make that roll up and out, I needed to go further out in expiration. So I went out 1 month from this date here on the 7th of November. This was for 12/22. But now boosted my premium from 125 plus 42 to 204 up to 371. And it gave me just a little bit of breathing room, but it was right at the money. Like I said, this share price was 181. This call was still 180. Now I'm allowed to do this because my basis is still 169.50. So if Hell in a Handbag fell through and I was assigned early, which I won't be, and I'll leave a link at the end of this video of why you will not be assigned early, or you probably won't be assigned early. I wasn't too worried about that, and I also knew that I was just trying to buy some breathing room. If it was 181 and continued to rip, I would just roll again. Maybe roll to January, maybe roll to February. I wasn't really too worried about that. I was just trying to buy myself some time for things to eventually go my way, which is what happened today. But let's keep going. So that breathing room didn't get me anything, and it did still continue to go out of hand. And 10 days later on the 17th, right, I made an expiration of 12/22. I only made 10 days later on the 17th after I survived an ex-dividend date, which was my only risk of early assignment. But because I know intrinsic and extrinsic value, I knew I was pretty good. But the share price ripped another $10 to 190. So I was like, you know what? I am sick of thinking about this. I am going to roll up and out at the money, and that's going to be it. I'm not going to worry about it for at least a couple more months. I bought to close for 1,190. I sold to open a 190 strike for April 19th. So this was going to be 4 months out, and it got me $48 more in premium. Now, I also wanted to re-mention here that we started with a strike of 175. All right, so I've now locked in with this 190 upon assignment. I've now locked in an additional 1,500 in capital gains. And this is like a little bit of a rebuttal for the people that are like, the wheel is great, but if the share price continues to go up, you lose all of that money. Like, you don't lose money if you know how to roll, right? Yeah, of course, the share price shot way past my strike, but I just kept on rolling closer to the money and I kept locking in those capital gains upon assignment the further on that I went. Okay, so this got my total premium 125, 42, 204. I threw in the dividend because I freaking earned it by doing all this rolling at $24, and this one got me to 48. So now I'm up $443 plus $1,500 during due to capital gains. And during this time, the share price was only up 2%, even all the way up to 190 and then all the way back down to where we are today, only 2% over that time. But I continue to make $443, and I'll show you exactly what my position looks like today. So here we are today. Apple has been pulling back over the last couple of days. The options value has now gone down $843. Now, I'm not up $843, like I said, because this is a continued roll. And for me to collect this entire 443, this would have to go to zero. That's probably not going to be the case. I will buy to close this if I need to, or I will roll it depending. But like I said, it's still going to be a profit, and the value of the option is still going down considerably. All right, it's now $8 out of the money. Right, so the current share price 182, so I don't need to worry. I can't get assigned on that one. If it continues to drop, so will the value of the option, and I'll just continue to win even more on this initial value of this option. If it goes up, we just saw, I'll keep rolling. I'll keep collecting premium. I'll keep collecting dividends. It's a beautiful thing. Right after I show you my position, guys, I will link a video to show you, like I said, why I don't think I was going to get assigned early. So here's my current Apple position. It is up $1,283, good for 7.75% since May of 2023, plus the 5.35% or $907 of total premium. You could throw the $24 dividend on there as well. And by knowing the wheel, I'm at $2,190.68, which just sounds so much better, and why this is an amazing tool that if you have 100 shares, you should be writing calls against it. If you want this spreadsheet over here, guys, that's also available to my Discord down in the description below, as well as the full guide and journal if you want to check that out. And like I said, if you want to see why you probably won't be assigned early and why the buyer of an option is not going to exercise early, I will leave that link or that video somewhere over here, guys. I hope you learned something. Get down in the comments. Let me know if I screwed anything up. If something doesn't sound right, I promise I'll explain myself, and I'll see you guys over in the Discord.